Hi, I'm Maria Kessler, a master's student on the Battle for the Belt 2.0 study on the soybean side, and today I'm going to be talking about stand counts. Stand counts are important for a multitude of different reasons, but they play a big role in developing your replanting decisions. Especially when you're planting early, like we did here at the Northwest Ag Research Station. These soybeans were planted April 13th, and that can really subject your crop to potentially frost, flooding, pathogens that thrive in those cool and wet conditions, and that really diminishes the plant population. So going out into your field and conducting those stand counts will tell you whether you need to replant and how much you need to replant. Ohio in particular does not have any replanting thresholds for soybeans developed, and that is the goal of this study, is to create a quantitative method to determine when you would not need to replant. For my project in particularly, I'm conducting some very early season stand counts, those being at VE, VC, V1, and V2. The goal of this is to see how early we can conduct those stand counts and still get a good estimation of the plant population in the field. So to do stand counts in the easiest way is to conduct those stand counts in an area that is 1/1000th of an acre. So for soybeans planted on 15-inch rows, you can measure out 17 feet 5 inches, and you'll count 2 rows, and that'll give you your 1/1000th of an acre population. So to find out per acre what you're looking at, you would multiply that value by 1,000. Soybeans planted on 30-inch rows, you would still use that 17 feet 5 inch, but you would just count 1 row, and that would still give you that estimation of your 1/1000th of an acre or plants per acre. So I am in one of my plots at the Northwest Ag Research Station, and I'm going to be conducting a stand count here. So we have a measuring stick laid out. It is at 17 feet 5 inches, and I'll go ahead and count. So based on this count, we're looking at around 98,000 plants per acre at the very early VE growth stage.
Hi everyone, my name is Diego Miranda, master student working on Battle for the Belt 2.0 on the corn side, and today I am in Worcester location in the corn research plots. So this is our first planting date, was planted last April 13. So I was giving a kind of look to some seedlings that had emerged. So we got some VE and as well some V1 stage of growing. So something really important is to know about the stand counts. Stand counts will help us to know and to have a better idea of how our plant population is looking like. And as well, with this information, we can have a better idea of how our yield potential is going to look like. And as well, it comes to discussions, some factors as whether to decide to replant or not our fields, but we need to consider that replanting has some additional costs. Extra seed, more field hours, and as well delay maturity. So today we're going to run some stand counts here at this location, and I know that I have a separation of 30 inches per row, and I already set my measuring tape about 17 feet and 5 inches. So the number of plants that I count in this separation, that will be automatically the number of plants that I will have in an acre. So let's go ahead. Perfect. So I count a total of 34 plants. So this will be automatically 34,000 plants per acre. I like to average the 2 rows so I can have a more consistent number. So if you have a big field, you can do these countings, like 4 of them, like separately, so you can have a better understanding of how your plant density is looking like. Thank you so much. I invite you to keep tuned for more information. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. This is Matt Davis, manager of the Northwest Research Station here in Wood County, Ohio, where lately this spring, the wind's always blowing. I'm here to give an update for the Battle for the Belt 2.0. The corn and soybeans for the first planting date were planted the 13th of April. And since that planting date, the plots have had 3.4 inches of rain, and we've had 3 days since the planting date that have been below 36 degrees. Right now, the corn plants are at about V1 with the second leaf out but not leaf collared yet. The soybeans, I'm going to call it VE, but Maria may tell me differently. But the unifoliates are not quite fully emerged. The disadvantage we've got going forward right now is that the next 3 days is forecasted to be in the low 30s with the potential for frost or freeze, so we'll see how the plants survive. Going forward, we were supposed to plant the second planting date yesterday. That would have been the 29th of April, and we have missed that. So we will have to do some adjustments on planting date because we're trying to keep the last planting date the 17th of June. So hopefully we can get another 4 dates in. If not, I guess Maria will have to come back for a third year. So stay tuned.